Hi everyone, I am Anonymous Traveler. Because of COVID-19 and the business shutdown, many people are struggling in this difficult time. It's a time of challenge and hardships. However, such unpleasant situations are part of life. What is important is what we can learn and gain from this experience. In a way, the current situation is like a reminder that no one is immune from misfortune and suffering, and misery can get a hold of us anytime without warning. As a human, we are always running away from suffering and death. However, we can gain a lot from the contemplation on death. One of the many ways to describe a spiritual practice is to learn to die well. Many spiritual traditions have been training their students to learn the art of dying well. For example, books such as Tibetan Book of the Dead is a manual for a newly dead person. In the West, Orphism taught its followers that after physical death, not to drink the water from Lethe, but instead drink the water from Mnemosine when one has died. By doing so, the practitioner is ending the cycle of endless reincarnation. This makes Orphism sound like Buddhism, and that is rightfully so. Orphism is like a combination of Buddhism and Gnosticism. In Orphism, humanity has a dual nature. According to Orphism, our physical body is inherited from the Titans who are oppressors, and the divine spark or soul is inherited from the god Dionysos. This contradictory dual nature is a core concept of Gnosticism. Gnostics who came to this conclusion tried to master the spiritual path with two different approaches. Some went on to the ascetic approaches, and some went on to the libertine approach. And the libertine approach has some common trait with the hippie and the flower power movement. And Orphism chose ascetic path. In terms of these two approaches, I came to the conclusion that the libertine approach cannot provide the path to the ultimate spiritual mastery. And I consider the libertine path is doomed to fail. However, although the first approach, the ascetic approach, is superior than libertine approach, being an ascetic alone does not make you a spiritual master. The essence of ascetic lifestyle is to live a disciplined lifestyle to reduce our attachment to our animal aspect or earthly element to minimum while arousing our inner flame or divine spark to maximum. However, some people get confused regarding the core essence of asceticism. It is not about how much pain you can generate on your body. Asceticism's core essence is to maximize functionality and awareness of oneself while minimizing the attachment to animal aspect of our existence by implementing very well-structured, disciplined lifestyle. By the way, since we are talking about Orphism, I have to address vegetarian diet, since in Orphism, it is a mandatory requirement for spiritual perfection. I have personally practiced vegetarian diet and then vegan diet for more than 5 years. For the first few years, I did not have serious side effect. But after that, I started having serious side effect. I have supplemented myself with lacking nutrition to compensate such diet. But the thing is, for some people, such diet does not work. Each person has a different biomechanism, and some people can handle such diet without any serious side effect, and that is wonderful. But some people can develop serious health problem in the long term. In my case, I started developing serious side effect that was affecting my health and my capacity for spiritual practice. So I had to give up the diet. And I did not give up the diet because of my desire for meat. I was able to conquer my desire for meat completely. So craving for meat was not even an issue for me, since for me, diet only means to supply necessary nutrition. Anyway, I contemplated the issue of diet before changing it, and during those time of contemplations, I remembered that there has been people who have attained spiritual mastery with a non-vegetarian diet. For example, there are super hardcore meditation monks in the forest of Thailand. Some of them are the most advanced meditators on the planet, and they do not have any choice regarding the content of their meal. Every morning, they came out of the forest and visit a nearby village and beg for food to villagers. Each monk carries his own bowl to get the food. So the villagers would pour their food into a bowl of the monk, and such food can be anything including rice, fish, meat, etc. So they have to live on what has been given each day. However, such diet, including meat, did not hinder their spiritual progress. The key point here is whether one eats meat or not. The key point here is not to care about the pleasure of eating. The process of eating in this case is purely for getting enough nutrition for daily practice and sustaining physical body. In other words, eating became a source of nutrition for functionality and clear awareness, nothing more, nothing less. And sticking to asceticism for the sake of asceticism is not a way to go. I think the Buddha said it the best. Walk the middle path. Don't go either of extremes. Being an ascetic just for the sake of being an ascetic is meaningless. One should be focused on disciplined lifestyle and maximizing the inner divine spark. Now, I am going to talk about the symbolism of entering the interior of the earth or the underworld in various alchemical texts. Also, I have to talk about the symbolism of the water from the Lethe and the water from the Mnemosine. The water from the Lethe makes one forget about everything, and the water from Mnemosine makes one remember everything. And in Orphism, this water of Mnemosine is a source of immortality and freedom from reincarnation. Now, in alchemical text, there are two acronyms that frequently appear. One is V.I.T.R.I.O.L.U M and another is V.I.T.R.I.O.L.U.M. And what V.I.T.R.I.O.L means is visit the interior of the earth, and by purifying yourself, you will find the hidden stone. And what V.I.T.R.I.O.L.U.M means is visit the interior of the earth, and by purifying yourself, you will find the hidden stone, which is the true medicine. So basically, these two acronyms are discussing the same thing. Only difference is the second one has an explanation that the hidden stone is true medicine. And by medicine, it means that it cures alchemical blindness and deafness. So in other words, it activates hidden vision and hidden hearing. I am going to talk about it later in this lecture. But first, let's get on to the general concept. Regarding the expression visiting the interior of the earth is sometimes expressed differently in different alchemical texts. Sometimes it is entering the underworld or netherworld or into the cavern of darkness or the kingdom of shadows, but they are talking about the same process. The first thing that need to be understood is sometimes when alchemical text mention the earth, it means human body. So visiting the interior of the earth means one is entering the inner space inside the human body. And this inner space within us is alchemical chamber or alchemical vessel within oneself. Because important alchemical workings can be done in this space. The reason why they tend to use the allegory of entering the inner earth is not only it symbolized the unknown domain within us, but also it symbolizes alchemical chamber or vessel. This alchemical inner space is like a cavern or chamber, and it can be sealed off. When you enter into the cavern within your mind, you are entering the alchemical chamber or vessel in your mind. And in various alchemical texts, there are references of hermetic sealing. That means in order to complete the work, one needs to seal oneself off from energy interruptions and the negative influence from outside. It is also related to the alchemical axiom, silence is golden. One of the purposes of such axiom is to reduce the unnecessary energy interaction to minimum. Any improper energy interaction can ruin this operation. So that is also very similar with sealing off process of alchemical chamber or vessel. So when one is practicing the axiom silence is golden, what is happening alchemically is one is sealing oneself off in a hermetic chamber or vessel to complete the work. And that is what it meant when the axiom says purifying yourself. For purifying yourself, your alchemical vessel or chamber or inner space need to be sealed off. And then the next sentence is, by doing so, you will find a hidden stone. In this context, this hidden stone is not an object. It is a symbolization of facing the utter darkness and being paralyzed. In some alchemical texts, when they mention hermetic black or blacker than black, they usually address this particular darkness. And when one encounters this darkness and successfully overcome it, hidden sensory perceptions are awakened. Sometimes you see the expression, from the kingdom of darkness comes the light, in various old alchemical texts. And in this context, what it meant is, by facing and conquer the utter darkness or hermetic black, one's hidden vision and hidden hearing are awakened, and thus one is now able to see and hear. It's like a blind man has gained eyesight for the first time. So, from the kingdom of shadows or kingdom of darkness comes a light. Because one has completed the test of a hidden stone, now he is able to see, so therefore no more darkness, but a new light shines on. And the first thing that one realized is that now he is able to understand all the different symbols. He can directly penetrate into the hidden meanings of the various symbols, and this is one of the manifestations of such hidden vision. But in order to successfully complete the task, one has to drink from the water of Mnemosine instead of water from Lethe. As I explained in the beginning of this lecture, the water from Mnemosine makes one remember everything, and the water from Lethe makes one forget everything. Then, what is exactly the water of Mnemosine? That means this operation must be done without losing clear awareness. One should not give in to fear. Therefore, maintaining clear awareness in the face of utter darkness or hermetic black is the action of drinking the water from Mnemosine. So, this is symbolism behind V.I.T.R.I.O.L or V.I.T.R.I.O.L.U.M. Thanks for listening and all the best.